Hello, my name is Meghan Martian, and I'm a cartoon that likes to talk about cartoons. Is Season 7 of Rick and Morty bad? My knee-jerk reaction after learning Justin Roiland wasn't going to be part of the show moving forward was, this is going to suck, just cancel it. But I gave it a chance, and I watched it. And you know what? I still think it's bad. But it does have one surprising redeeming quality. Rick and Morty is an animated science fiction sitcom created by Justin Roiland and Harmon. The series follows the misadventures of an eccentric and alcoholic scientist named Rick Sanchez and his good-hearted but easily influenced grandson, Morty Smith. Together they embark on interdimensional adventures that take them to various fantastical worlds, encountering bizarre creatures, alternate realities, and complex ethical dilemmas along the way. It's a great show.
So I thought, why not just do your job for you so we can have a little fun game?
Rick, is this a saw thing? Are you seriously sawing the Vindicators?
Morty, I'm a drunk, not a hack. If you break the rules, lose the game, or try to leave, you will die. Like in... Saw. Well, I think we've seen enough.
Justin Roiland was the star and co-creator of the animated comedy series. He voiced both Rick and Morty. In early 2023, he was charged with felony domestic battery and false imprisonment for an alleged incident that took place in 2020. The charges were ultimately dropped due to insufficient evidence. Roiland released a statement on Twitter shortly after the charges were dismissed and said that he was thankful and determined to move forward and focus on creative projects and restoring his good name. But then, even more accusations against Roiland came out, including alleged grooming and sexual assault. Adult Swim, Disney, and Squanch Games all cut ties with Roiland. This departure included Rick and Morty. Roiland would no longer be a part of the show. No one asked me, but if I was in charge, a head honcho of sorts, I would have just canceled the show at that point. Hello, hi, this is Editing Megan. Howdy. So, I know Adult Swim ordered 70 new episodes of Rick and Morty in advance, ensuring that Rick and Morty would air until season 10. This is just my personal opinion. I'd rather have my favorite shows end when the creativity starts to fade than squeeze out as many episodes as possible for profit. But that's just me. Like I said, it's just my opinion. It just seems strange to have Rick and Morty without the creator of and voices for those characters. And apparently I'm not the only one who felt that way.
Not going to bother watching.
They shouldn't have ordered 70 episodes blindly. Big mistake.
Expectations
Be
are low
trending
after the
sounds
last two.
optimistic.
I have little hope.
But I try to keep an open mind. So the other day, I opened up Amazon Prime, plopped on the couch, and decided to give the first episode of Season 7 a watch. This would be the first season without Justin Roiland, the first season with new voices for Rick and Morty. I really wanted to like it. I remember when I watched Rick and Morty for the first time way back when, and I thought it was awesome. The dark humor, intricate storytelling, and sci-fi concepts led me to be a big fan of the show. Season 7 just doesn't do it for me, and there are two reasons why. I've thought for a while now that Rick and Morty has been losing its touch and struggling to recapture the magic of seasons 1 and 2. It's felt like a slow slide downwards from season 3 onwards, and season 7 is just a continuation of that falling trajectory. But despite my feelings about the show continuing on without Justin Roiland instead of just pulling the plug, I wanted it to end up being good against the odds, but it just wasn't. This was pretty disappointing to me. What started as a fresh concept with a sci-fi twist and sporadic but genuine heartfelt moments has now devolved into a 70-episode obligation that's just chugging along until it can finally rest in peace. It feels a bit devoid of passion. As Jake Kleinman put it in his spot-on review of Season 7 for Inverse magazine, Rick and Morty has oscillated between trying to return to that original parody of the week format and big juicy lore dumps. But 60 episodes in, we're running out of things to parody, and the show's canon has become so complicated that even the nerdiest fans have trouble keeping track of the plot. Let's use the cold open of episode 3 as an example.
I don't believe in therapy.
What the hell does that even mean? You don't believe in it.
He's a Scientologist.
Don't date my shrink, and don't be a space Mormon.
Why not?
It's silly. Sorry, it's a cheap shot. Worship how you want.
Does this sound like something Rick Sanchez would say to you? The same Rick Sanchez that turned himself into a pickle to avoid going to therapy with his family?
I'm Pickle Rick!
Okay. Personally, I think a big part of what makes Rick and Morty funny is Rick's cynicism and questionable behavior. And while Rick presents himself as being emotionally detached and morally ambiguous, under the surface he is vulnerable, lonely, and cares about others, mainly his daughter Beth and grandson Morty. This emotional and caring side of Rick is one that is rarely seen and usually only in proximity to Beth or Morty. Having Rick openly care about the feelings of a random character in Season 7, Episode 3 goes against everything we've learned about Rick up until this point. This moment felt more like a writer injecting their own morality into Rick than a moment of genuine character development. But I don't want to just harp on the bad, because Season 7 isn't all bad. In fact, the one aspect of the show that fans seem to be most worried about is also the one thing that I was pleasantly surprised by: the new voice actors. I actually thought those were pretty good, better than I thought they would be. So my take is, as much as I love Rick and Morty, part of me still thinks it should have ended with Justin Roiland's exit. And while the voice acting of Season 7 isn't terrible, overall, I think Season 7 still pales in comparison to earlier seasons. But that's just like my opinion, man. So what do you think about Season 7? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.